Hitting your homie from the back repeatedly is officially over. At least in our creators, because community manager Birdie said that using any exploits is bannable. We've also got some news on the double pump tech or, exploit. So let's find out what you can and cannot do legally and whether you're scrappy and your account is cooked. If you might be a little bit confused what I'm talking about, for those of you who have not been introduced to the age-old Rust Belt tradition of jumping into the back of your teammate over and over again, let me explain. If you happen to find yourself in front of a locked door, but you do not have a key, it turns out with the right technique, you can do it without even having to put it in. Now, I'm not going to elaborate further. This is not a guide on how to do that exploit because, like I said, it is actually bannable. But I'm sure I don't have to explain how it works because probably more than half of you did it with your bro in the last few days. Let's take a look at Discord to see how Embark feels about doing it with your bro. This user called SlayerNom asked the following. Respectfully, there being an exploit where the best loot rooms in the game can be raided without the key, for a player using a key to open an empty room is bad. Especially bad with how long it's been going on. Can we at least get any information on if people abusing the exploit will receive any level of punishment? Now, people reacted clown to this, but we also have some green check marks and 100s. So it seems kind of split. Half of the player base were making fun of him. Some people were agreeing with him. Following that, we then got the confirmation from community manager Birdie saying, "We understand how it can be frustrating. The team keeps actively working to fix all the exploit. Using them is bannable." Now we do have to take that with just a slight caveat here because community managers basically are only responsible for, managing the community. They don't have control over anything that happens in the game. But then again, their job is of course to represent the line that Embark is holding. So, what can we expect? Are all of us getting banned? Are half of the player base's accounts getting nuked? Or is Embark gonna be a little bit lenient here? My personal advice would be, do not poke the bear. Either stop completely, or if you really can't help yourself and your greedy little loot gobbling hands, then at the very least, do not post about it, do not make guides on any of these sort of exploits, and if you want to be extra careful, also avoid doing it with randoms in your lobby because they might report you. More than likely, Embark is going to bring out a fix for this any day. I'm actually really surprised that it has been going on for this long. But now let's talk about the question of how bad is this really? And I'm also really interested to hear your opinion. Do you think using this exploit is ethical? On the one hand, you are of course cheating people that bring their keys and risk losing their keys. You're cheating them out of the extra loot they would be getting there. But at the same time, the exploit is so popular that it is also so easy to do. You can pretty much teach it to someone in 10 seconds, so there's no unfair advantage in that sense because, everybody can do it. At the same time, it also doesn't really change the way you play the game or impact other players too much outside of being frustrating for the actual key owners. But here's the thing that I've been thinking about the most when it comes to these exploits, and that is that the loot you can find behind these locked doors actually isn't even that good. I really hope that when Embark fixes this, they will also increase the loot value in these locked areas. But now, let's take a look at the other big tech/glitch/exploit that people are talking about in the community, and that is the infamous double pump exploit popularized by content creator AimKey. This tech, or whatever you want to call it, involves quickly switching between guns to increase their fire rate. This obviously is the most effective with guns that have low fire rate, such as the Pharaoh, Anvil, and El Toro. Now, we do not have direct confirmation whether this one is bannable or not, But of course, community manager Birdie made a big blanket statement containing all exploits. But here, my personal opinion is quite clear, which is that I do not think this is something that should be bannable at all. They should fix it, sure, but ban people for it, I think that's going way too far. The reason why I feel so strongly about this is because this exploit, if you want to call it that, you can easily stumble upon accidentally when you're experimenting with timing and combos and trying to push the mechanics of a game to its limits, which is what you should be doing if you're in any way, shape or form interested in the mechanics of a game or PvP or skill expression. Now again, keep in mind, I'm not trying to make an argument on the level of balance, right? I'm not trying to say this should be in the game, but it being bannable is just really hard for me to imagine because, again, it is something you can do inside the game without any external tools or any incredibly strange behavior. Let's not forget that we are stealing the term double pump from the Fortnite community, where they did also fix it eventually, but they never punished anyone for using it in the first place. It's a big part of a lot of games to have animation cancels. You know, this goes back all the way to quick switching with your AWP in Counter-Strike. So again, if this is bannable, I'm actually gonna crash out. And I'm not even using this, okay? I swear to God. I've never used this, tech before. I'm not really playing this game on that sweaty of a level that I'm out here quick switching a Toro or something, but if you want to, and you can, and the game lets you do it, that should be your prerogative in my humble opinion. Really letting people push the mechanics of your game to their limit is something that gives your game a lot of depth and longevity. Let me know how you feel about it. Of course, if you are coming home after a 10-hour shift and you have some ADHD kid double pump you while doing some crazy moves, I can understand that might be frustrating, but that's exactly why I want to hear your opinion. I read every single comment, and if you have something really interesting to say, it might even make it into my next video.